In this video, I'll walk you through how to check and adjust the spindle bearing preload on your SC-512L. If you are seeing taper that cannot be corrected through leveling or alignment, or if you notice movement at the spindle, the bearing preload may need adjustment. You will need a flathead screwdriver, a small hammer, a 45 to 52 millimeter spanner wrench, and the chuck key. Start by removing the left side panel of the machine to expose the belt and spindle pulley. Before making any adjustments, we need to verify the amount of movement at the spindle. Place an indicator on the stock about 1 inch from the chuck. Now, apply moderate pressure by pinching the belt together and avoid rotating the spindle. Note the indicator reading. Here we are seeing approximately 35 microns, or 1.4 thousandths of an inch. Next, rotate the spindle 180 degrees and apply the same pressure again. Here we are seeing approximately the same as before. If you are seeing movement like this, you can leave it as is. Or if you want to improve spindle concentricity, you can increase the spindle preload. Our goal today is to get the spindle to about 13 microns, or 0.5 of an inch. Move to the back side of the spindle and rotate it until you locate the locking tab that is bent into the slotted nut. Take a flathead screwdriver and wedge it under the tab, then lightly tap it with a hammer to lift it out of the slot. Repeat this process for both slotted nuts. Once the tabs are lifted, the nuts are no longer locked in place. Before tightening, note that each nut only has 4 slots. You must align the nut to one of these slots when tightening. Insert the chuck key into the chuck to hold the spindle in place. Then, place the spanner wrench onto one of the slots on the nut. While holding the chuck key steady, apply clockwise pressure on the spanner wrench to tighten the nut. Now, rotate the spindle. Look for alignment between the slots and the locking tabs. You may need to slightly tighten or loosen the nut to achieve proper alignment. Before locking the nut back down, recheck the spindle movement. Repeat the same test by pinching the belt and observing the indicator. At this point, we are seeing approximately 9 microns, or 3.5 of an inch, which indicates the preload has been properly increased and unwanted movement has been reduced. Once the preload is verified and a slot is aligned, rotate the spindle so the slot is positioned where you have good access. Place the flathead screwdriver against the locking tab and gently tap it back into the slot. Make sure the tab is fully seated and flat in the slot. If it is not properly seated, the nut will loosen over time. Now, while holding the chuck in place, rotate the pulley to seat it firmly against the spindle nut. This does not need to be excessively tight. Then, tighten the pulley lock nut, align its tab with the slot, and bend the tab into place to secure it. Now, reinstall the left side panel. Start all of the screws before tightening any of them. You may need to apply slight pressure to the panel to get the holes to line up properly. Once all screws are started, go ahead and tighten them down. That is it. Now you have adjusted the spindle bearing preload.
If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more setup guides, machining tips, and tutorials. If you have any questions or run into anything unexpected, send us an email at support@signcorecnc.com and we'll be happy to help. You can also check the description for helpful links, related videos, and additional setup resources. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.